deserve by a long shot.
Y- yeah, yeah. I definitely know that feeling. But yeah, I have to say, when I Googled you today, and like one of the first things that came up, it said Dustin Perkins back from a 10-year exile from the mountains in Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
That's
I'm
an
still in the mountain, but I come out and play a little music now.
yeah,
So,
that's a very interesting first paragraph to learn from an artist. That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
man. Back probably 12 or 13 years ago, we were at this pretty hard, really trying to make a go at it. And I think that last year that I really played for a living, I played like 260 something shows that year. And it was a lot. And I'd done some things that year that really I was very proud of where my career was going. But I was married at the time, and my wife at the time's dad died of a sudden heart attack, and she inherited 260 acres, 66 short-horn cattle, and nobody really around to take care of it. And so it kind of fell on my shoulders, or I felt like it did, that I needed to go home and help take care of business. And I ended up getting divorced through those 10 years and remarried and then divorced again and had a couple kids. And the music just kept calling. I never quit playing during all that time, but I wasn't pursuing it. I was playing backyard parties and little bars down the road and whatnot. I did keep a couple gigs that I'm pretty proud of that we'll get into later, but that I played during that time too. So it's not like I quit completely, but I really quit pursuing it full time for a long time. And over the last 3 or 4 years, we've really got back into it and got our foot back on the gas. And I'm writing and we're creating content and we're getting more shows and we're trying to build our fan base back up and from the years ago. And thankfully, so many of those fans, here we are 20 years later, and they're still listening to my music. So I'm super, it's been a super awesome coming back. Been really good.
Yeah, that's that's a hell of a story, man.
Thank you, man. I mean, it's all real life.
Yeah, it's man. Like a lot of times, you just see like artists, they just need to stop and take care of what's going on in their life. Because like, man, you're doing 260 shows plus a year. That is that is road dogging.
It, I'm not gonna lie, it broke me.
Yeah,
It was, it was a trying year. It was also a very satisfying year, I guess. I did something that right before her daddy died, I did something I called the Bag of Bones tour, and it was just in my mind since the further I got down this rabbit hole of music, the more BS was involved with all of it. The booking agents and the promotions and the on and on and on and on and on. And this cost a bunch of money and the radio promoters and this and it was just I got tired of the business, if you will. But I always wanted to know that if I just took off with my guitar, could I survive? Could I make it to the next town? Could I find a place to play that I could make money? And so I left Dallas, Texas with $100 and a tank full of gas. And 45 days later, I made it home. I made it to Washington State and back. Made it 6,500 miles in 45 days. Uh, Playing for tips, talking my way into playing bar rooms, playing sidewalks if I couldn't find a place, and telling my story along the way. And people funded it the whole way. It was one of the most successful things that I did. it and to come off that high and then just go to not playing any shows at all was it was different, but it's something I needed to go to or go through.
Yeah.
It shaped me as a person. I had some finding myself and finding God to do while I was up there. And I felt like I did a little of both.
It's just $100 and a tank full of gas. That's like a modern day, like kind of like a bluesman story.
Yeah, it's cool. I documented it all, and it's all on YouTube. There's 3 or 4 episodes of where I'd update my social media and show everybody where I was at and how I got there. And we had it set up where you could donate online. And wherever I was at in the United States, I'd sit down and write you a postcard, and it'd be postmarked from like, Montana or Idaho or Washington State. And it was just a really cool thing. And people got behind it because they believed in it. And I got on several radio stations on that tour. My manager at the time would call out ahead of time and send emails to all these radio stations of the story about what I was doing. And it got me on a couple radio stations that still play me to this day, which is wild.
Yeah, I love the personal touch with the postcards and whatnot, because man, all the mail I get anymore is just like bills I paid online.
Yeah, it's junk.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when you get letters and you would see like the stickers or the postcards, something on it. It was, yeah. Well, back in the day, that was our text messages.
Yeah. Well, it's cool because I would write like, "Thank you, Linda, for your $20. It got me some McDonald's and a shower at the TA truck stop today. I really appreciate it." And I don't know, that meant a lot to me that she sent the money, and I wanted her to feel as good as she made me feel on the road. So she got a piece of the tour.
Yeah.
And if they donated a certain amount, I had pre-signed a bunch of albums and shirts and stuff, and they could, if they donated like $100, they got a merch package mailed to them, and I'd still send them a postcard as well, of course. But it was cool.
Yeah. I love that. And there's a lot of people like doing stuff like that. Like a lot of people have an opposition with crowdfunding an album. And I'm like, man, some of these people love music so much, but they can't play. And this is how they can be a part of music without playing an instrument. And I'm like, I've had people, they pull you around back. Hey, we don't have a lot. And I'm like, dude, like we don't need it. But they're like, no, we want you to have this. Like, and just, I guess pride, but whatnot. But it gives people to be a part of something. And man, you feel good when you help out like the artist that you love. You know what I mean? Like,
Man, and doing that, like I said, it was about the story of it all. And I don't know, people believed in it because I really was 15, 16 days in out in Colorado, sitting in Durango on the street corner playing because I couldn't find nowhere to play, and what was cool is documenting it as well because it was such a formative time in my life as a human, and I really proved something to myself then. I knew since that day I don't go anywhere without my guitar because I know I'll never go hungry and I can make it home. And I proved it to myself that I could.
yeah, that's brave. That's bravery right there.
That was before the children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just have them said, we're not making good money. Look sad. But yeah, that's wild. It takes, man, like that's brave. It's like the story of Like Adam Hood needed to sell one CD so he could make the toll after his show, and that's wild to me that they're just there's
It's
artists
real,
out there.
man.
Yeah, definitely you can't doubt yourself, and like once you get there, you got to kind of do it all over again.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was what was that tour was every night for 45 days. I had to figure out a new situation, a new town, and it was challenging. And a lot of nights I wasn't successful, but some nights where I was really successful. It was awesome. And I had some really good people catch me on my way out through West Texas. Some fans that I had out there, and they threw these two backyard parties that kind of sent me off and got me started in the right direction. Anyway,
What was the most important thing you learned? Like
man,
that just came up.
that it's all out there for you, but you gotta get up and go get it. That's something my dad always said. This world don't owe you nothing. They don't. We're not owed anything. We ought to be grateful to be alive. And what we do with our time, whatever it be passionate about it and love it, and it'll pay dividends over and over and over. I've made my way to Washington State and back doing that, and it just uh, anything's possible if you put your mind to it. I didn't know how I was going to do that. I just started telling everybody that's what I was going to do, and so I had to. I backed myself into that corner, and then I was like, "Oh shit, I got to get in this van and leave today." And I had my manager drain my account, and we started with $100. I got a picture of that somewhere, and took off from there, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's an incredible story. Like $100 that just still just blows my mind because that's it's some of my favorite movies about the old like Mississippi Delta guys. Like they had their suit, their guitar, or the harmonica, and man,
And they got on the road and made it.
yeah, some
Yeah.
just doing hobo, a train, car, hitchhike, and that whole lifestyle. It's you have to be built for it because not a lot of people. I don't know if I could not know where I was going to stay, go play. That has to be wild, especially like where you were like solo the whole way, just had
Oh yeah, it was just me. Yeah. I think I finally made enough money up around Portland that I was able to fly my wife at the time up there, and she stayed in Portland with me for 2 nights and then flew home. But that was the only person I knew that I came in contact with on that whole trip. I stayed with friends of friends. I stayed with people I met that night at the bar. They were like, "Hey, man, we got a couch and we'll cook you breakfast." And so I ended up making some really good friends and picking on their back porch and recording them picking songs. And it, it was the most rewarding thing I ever did. And it made as good of money, if not a little bit better than what we'd been booking and trying to pursue, which was wild.
yeah, that's yeah to make like a profit at it is because a lot of people, man, they're great musicians, but they don't understand the value of a dollar or how to especially man, like when I used to manage a band and I give them per diem and be gone in like 15 minutes. I'd be like, I'd be like, do you want it or do you need it? Like let's
Yeah, let's make a list here,
yeah,
guys.
like this is back like you could get a Little Caesars pizza for $5, or
Oh
you
yeah.
can get Marlboros for 15. Like, come on, man. Like, what do you need to eat? Yes. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
man,
so
we've lived those days, and I'm not saying that I'm out of them. I've drove all the way here recently to Galveston to play for four people. Man, we've all those good shows are sprinkled in there with them ones that nobody showed up to for whatever reason, or it's a bad weekend, or whatever it may be.
yeah.
I don't think any of us are out of the woods on that yet. But
Yeah, I think that happens with everybody. You go to a
yes,
show and you're like, "Where is everybody?" And they're like, "Oh, the fair's in town." Like,
yeah,
oh, great. you know,
yeah. Or Ty Myers is playing right down the road. That's been the excuse a couple times.
yeah. Oh, where they? Oh, they're playing across the street. Oh, great.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, yeah. You just never know. And like a lot of people I've talked to, and they play for thousands of people, and then you go back to your local spot, and it's just like people at the bar staring at the closed captions. You're like, oh, it's such
Yeah,
a weird feeling.
it is, man.
Just like the endorphin level, it's just so sporadic being a musician. Or man, like who doesn't want that feeling of all those people singing back your music and everyone's having a great time and the energy is it's electric. And then you just go. You go to your first gas station to get some eats or some gas. Nobody says anything to you.
Yeah,
It's
nobody
so
knows.
weird. You're like, man, you're like, well, everybody in that outside of the venue is like, boom. I know that's how like we would be. We're like, oh, we're nobodies again. It's so
Yep.
weird. In
Yeah.
that little space, especially when you play places where that's like their stadium. It's their Super Bowl and if they love you, man, they love you. And
Yes.
just get you some drinks. You guys hungry? This you want to do this? You want to come on? And it's like, wow, it's crazy. And then some, you go to a venue and it's like, man, it just here's your rider. Here's what's on your rider. And that's the last. That's the last you see
Yeah.
of them. Like, all right,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a roller coaster. But man, I still 267. You said 267. That's
It's 260 something. I'm not exactly sure the number, but I know it was 260 something that year. It was a bunch.
yeah. That's man. Was that like intentional or it
It
just
was.
okay?
We were promoting a new album, and I was running at it full speed, man. I wasn't doing anything else but music, so we were hot and heavy after it. Everywhere I could play, any radio station I could get on, anything, we were doing it then. Uh, but life's changed a lot since then. Um, and I feel like we're approaching it with a lot more of, what am I looking for? Mature approach. Everybody, everybody's so much older, and if it takes a little while for us to put something together, let's at least put it together right and put it out right because it's worth that
Yeah,
rather than just throwing everything out there and grabbing anything that's close.
yeah,
I feel like we're a little bit more calculated at this point in my life
yeah.
with where we're
It's
headed.
yeah. It's so much better to be that way. It just for your mental health, for your physical
Yes.
health, because you're taking time away from your family and to go drive hours and hours and hours, and you get there and you go to and it's just like you get no respect. There's nobody there. They don't care you're there, and like what you agreed upon isn't agreed upon. And it just man, and that's an angry ride home. That
Oh man,
you
been there.
yeah, and you may possibly take it out on your band members,
Yeah.
and it's a toxic environment. You're all mad. You all took out your time. You played for four people, and then it's just like just the sound of the road, and man, you just you're like,
Yeah.
hey, why are you clicking that pen? Stop clicking that pen. Like just
Yeah.
little things can just and yeah,
Yeah.
but going to a good venue, having all the everything squared away, in the contract that said this, here's this, everything is to a T, and
Yes.
the process is followed. You have a good show, the fans, paid attention. It's so much rewarding than just being super disappointed and just angry because
Yes.
you just you just wanted to play.
I'm okay for 4 people if they're listening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Uh, I played for a lot of just people sitting in their house. You know what I mean? We all have. But like a couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to run the road with Zach Wilkerson. Have you had him on? You've
Oh
had him
yeah.
on here? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's awesome, man.
Oh yeah.
He totally went to bat for me out there on the road, let me open for him at all these listening rooms down in South Texas, and it was awesome. But you talk about a attentive crowd, everybody sitting there, and you could hear a mouse fart. It's
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah. That my first
Yeah.
experience. I went to the bird's nest, and like obviously listening room. I knew to be quiet, so I was being quiet, and I was just kind of like, how are people getting drinks at the bar? And I just remember the first person walked up and was like, hey, can I get a oh wow, it's like that. Okay, wow. It was
Yeah.
really cool though. Like I really loved like when the artist just sat down, told you what the song's about. Because
Yes, I love it.
yeah, a lot of times if I love the music a lot, man, the lyrics are secondary. And
Yes.
I've been trying. I've been doing this for like a couple years, and if I know it's somebody that that's a storyteller, songwriter, I really try to listen. But man, if there's like a really cool guitar going on or like cool sounding drums, I'm
Yeah,
always
you're off
pulled.
over it with
Yeah,
it.
I'm always
Yeah.
pulled away. And I'm glad some artists know that. Like it- like when Cody Jinks was talking about his song David, he's like, it's got really fun music, but it's a terribly sad song. But you have the people that love the music dancing to it with smiling, and you have the other people in the room that are crying, going, how could you be happy during this?
Yeah.
Because I've been on that side where I'm like, you turn around and everybody's crying, but you're just enjoying the pedal steel with a smile on your face, like this is
Yeah.
great. And you're like, oh, maybe
No,
this.
I'm definitely a melody first guy anyway. Long before the lyrics, I've got a melody locked in, and I'm already hearing parts. I'm normally wrong on those, but I get proved different. But um, I'm definitely a melody first guy,
Yeah,
or even a guitar melody or whatever. A song's got to catch you with the way it makes you feel with the music long before I hear the lyrics.
yeah, yeah. That's definitely. I normally don't hear the lyrics for like a couple listens after, and
Yes.
there's been songs I've listened to for years, and I never knew the lyrics until someone was like, "Hey, you got to learn these lyrics in case like the singer's voice goes out." Because it's like, but I'll know the melody of the vocals
Right. Yes.
because I got called out. The singer was I was playing with my band. The singer's like, "Dude, my voice hurts so much." He's like, "You know this song by Volbeat?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I know the song." He goes, I need you to sing it." I knew the intro, but everything else I just knew like, and I just did that. And he stopped singing because he could hear me, and he was just like, and once he dropped out, everybody knew that I wasn't even singing the words. I was like, but that's. He's like, I thought you knew the vocals. I was like, I know I know
The
how they
melody.
go. Yeah. I know where they should be. I just don't know, like, what the what, yeah, that was funny, but that's just how I hear music, and it's weird because like I didn't have no formal training or whatnot, and I'm not like the kind of person where like I be like I know like if I hear an A, a C, or a D, they're very obvious, but yeah. Even God forbid, like the one time I had to play bass, and I had never really sat down and listened. Like Simple Man, the bass line is
Oh,
insane.
yeah.
I had no idea because I always heard the dun 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 dun, and then like you hear this like deep low melody, but once you hear the bass of Simple Man, you never unhear it, and you just it was like listening to it again for the first time. I was like, "Whoa, this has
Yes.
been going on the entire time."
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs like that.
Oh,
Like
absolutely. Yes.
yeah, when you're watching the bass player playing, you see like he's up the neck, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's the bass holding,
Yes.
bringing that harmony up." And I don't know, music, and like melody, it is cool, and it's cool how like how you can make it like so different all the time when there's only like in Western music like 12 notes. It blows my mind that we're never gonna run out of it. You know?
Yeah.
And
My guitar player always says that to me. It's like, it's 12 notes, man. It's really
yeah,
not that complicated.
yeah, right. And then like you even go even when you're doing country, what is it, 3/4 or 4 chords in the truth, and you're like, wow, now
Yeah.
we're talking
That's about it.
fractions.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I just love just like the science of it.
Yes.
And how like even if you don't know theory, you don't know what key you're in, your brain will put the notes there because we're just wired to like a certain sequence, and that just like blows my mind.
Those frequencies.
Yeah,
It is, man. It's wild. It's all like you said. It's tied into us. It comes naturally.
yeah, and that's why I don't ever see live music going away.
No, I agree. Not real live music.
Yeah,
True musicians,
yeah, absolutely,
creators.
yeah. And I was gonna say like your record like I love how man your genre
It's
is
hard. It's all over the
is
place.
so. I would listen to the one like Devil Slide, and then you listen to another, and I'm like, man, this got a Stevie Ray Vaughan type groove to it on the acoustic, and I'm jamming to that, and then there's like you got like R&B and soul with the vocals, and I love how it's like it's got like an old soul, but like a modern day V8 engine. It's
That's
still
awesome, man. I've
it's
never
still
heard it described that way. I
yeah,
appreciate that. Yeah.
yeah. Like normally I call it like, of course, like I think it was Marshall that came out. This is vintage, but it's modern, vintage modern, and I love that. Like your mixes, your sounds, like it all has peaks and valleys, and I don't know what it is, what they do with like modern music nowadays. Like they compress it to have just like a bar, like a just a chunk with
Yes.
no. It's just so weird. It lacks so much soul. Like go in a room and just hang blankets up and play your guitar. You're gonna get a better recording than sending thousands and thousands of dollars to the top engineer that's gonna run it through the formula and print you out a CVS receipt.
Right. Yeah.
Like, oh, here's the total, and you got nothing authentic, but it's ready for
Yes.
radio.
Yeah. That. I'd like to say that we're not in the chasing radio game, but the listeners that we do acquire normally are true listeners and true fans, and they show up, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
That's awesome. You
yeah,
know.
and that's how it, I think building people organically like that is so much more beneficial than you just win a contest and a lot of these contests you're playing covers and then you go and you're like, all right, here's my new album, and they're like, we don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
Like
that's
your
not what they
fans,
know you for.
yeah,
Yeah.
Your fans don't even like your music. They just, they liked you from the TV when you're singing whatever covers they had you do. But yeah, doing like you guys to the extreme. You guys like doing the road and hitting the road and your solo. That still amazes me. Like
Awesome, man. Yeah. No, I'm proud of that. That was the most one of the biggest accomplishments of my music career, I would say, for sure. And it was more just to prove to myself more than anything that I could do that.
yeah. Now for the new music, do you when you just say like, hey guys, it's time, we gotta put something down. Do you start with like concepts, or you just, man, wherever
Man,
the music takes you?
I normally would come to the studio or the band. We've done it different, several different times, and here most recently too. Um, the last record that we put out was the original four guys that I put together. Um, oh shoot, 15, 16 years ago. Uh, and we had been working back at this to the point it got busy enough that the drummer and the guitar player didn't want to be gone that much with their families and the point they're at their life. No hard feelings or anything, just it got too busy for what they wanted to be involved. And so I'm really excited about my new single that's coming out because Gabe, the drummer from Turnpike Troubadours, is actually produced my new single that we're getting ready to release. So that's been a whole different process, but I'm really, really happy with the results of both. And both of them accomplished what we were looking for. With the record, I was trying to capture, or we were trying to capture, the sound that those four guys made. And I think we did that really well. And then with moving on from now, working with Gabe worked out really good, and I'm really happy with the songs that we got. And I kind of got an outside ear on it for the first time in a while, and so that's been a good deal too. I'm excited about what's to come, but it's definitely different than how we did the record that you're listening to.
Yeah, a good producer is just, man, especially if
Man,
they're
yeah,
they're not, respect. They're not afraid to go, hey man, why don't we do it this way?
yes,
And you just go, oh, that does work, and it is interesting. Like I never really knew what a producer did. I just, like, the first time I was in the studio, I just like tested my boundaries of how close I could get to the board. Because I was like, well, what? No, there's too much stuff on here. There's no way you're gonna touch all these buttons. And he just was doing his thing, and he just kind of like looked over, and I was like, yeah, this is where they tell me to go back. And he's just like, I was like, cool. And it was amazing how he just vocalized it. He said, man, instead of going, he was like, try to go, just a little thing. And then
yeah.
you lay it down, you're like, oh, uh,
He
like,
he heard something you didn't. It's just a different perspective. And nothing against what we did with that record,
mhm.
uh, but everybody had their kind of creative control on their parts, and I didn't try to tell them how to play what they were going to play. I believe we're all artists, and if you put a guy in that position to come up with that part, then it ought to be his,
Yeah,
and he that way he can be proud of it. So I try not to get in the way of the production of the songs. I try to get the meat and potatoes put together, and then really leave it up to some guys that I trust. Here at Split Window Studios, that's where we're at today doing all this. He's got all the setup for this. Um, but he does an incredible job for us, putting it all together, helping us shoot content, and facilitating, engineering, whatever we need Chris to do. He's a big part of the team, man, and does so much for me. And I swear, if it ever makes a whole bunch of money, he's the first one that gets a big check. But that's that's the other side of it. I've got a really good team of people that help me with it all. My bass player Fuzzy is fairly involved with the booking of the band. I've got another booking agent working with us too now, Houston Hall, and then with Chris and those guys, and between me and all of them put together. On top of that, the countless fans that show up and continue to support us every show that we do. Uh, it takes all those parts, but I'm really happy with the team we've got assembled at this point. It makes it a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, like, does it take a long time for you guys to record? Because some of these songs, there's a lot of cool sounds going on.
That record we didn't get in a hurry on. Um, Chris was kind and gracious enough to open his studio to us in the evenings on like one Thursday a month. So we would do band practices and work these songs up and really work on the production of them at that point. And he would make a game tape for us, and we got to listen to it all week. And then we'd come back the next week, and the drummer would be like, "Man, I'm going to do this right here. I've been listening to it all week. I want to do this." And the guitar player would change his parts because we'd been living with it. And so it was that record was a really different way to approach it, but it was really awesome because we got to take our time with it and really pick it apart, and everybody was really happy with their parts. Even down to the mixing and the mastering, we went back and forth on who we wanted to use, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Though it was good to get to be able to take our time with it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Because it's funny, like reading articles, like growing up and stuff. Well, even now, like when musicians go in, they bang out a record and they end up like hating some of their parts.
Oh yeah.
And like the popular ones. I mean, granted, when you play it live, you just play the version you want to play, but they say when they hear it, they can't listen to it.
I've got a couple on several of my past records. There's parts I'm just like, I just turn them off or move it to the next song, like, I don't want to hear that.
Why do we leave that in?
Yeah, that was terrible.
That's funny. And like a lot of, I like a lot. Now, when you do record, is it more like off the floor, or do you like to keep? I guess what I'm asking, like in the studio, like you can like bounce in, auto punch, and just keep it 100% perfect. Or is that what you like? Or
No,
you like,
man, not necessarily. I mean, it obviously depends on the song and what we're shooting for. As you said earlier, I'm all over the place. So if we were looking for a more poppy, polished sound on that song because that's what it's calling for, then I'm all for chasing it down that road. But most of the time, I'm going to lean toward the organic side of things. That record that we keep talking about, we even had it mastered for vinyl, but we tried to make that as live sounding. I mean, we tracked it all live together to start with and then came back and, dubbed each part in. But still, we kept the live vibe to it, I feel like, that live feel to it. And the organic sounds. But I've gone down both ways, and I'm not opposed to any production if the song's calling for it because music's supposed to be different. Some of it's supposed to be tight and polished, and some of it's Ray Wiley Hubbard, and it's cool.
Yeah.
It's all
Right.
out of time and a little out of tune, but it's awesome, you know. So I think it's all depending on what that song's talking about and trying to bring that to life. You know, whatever's best for the song is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely 100%. And I do love just how like music like yours sound. And it's funny is seeing a lot of people complaining like all their favorite bands, they don't sound the same. They don't sound like their first record. So I've seen more and more bigger names go back to like and you hear like they're recording on tape because
Yes.
that's what they did on their first record.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really think you have to go that extreme. It's just like just do it off the floor, and that was the best one. And just boom,
Yeah.
like the old Tascam 4-track. Just
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna press the two buttons now, and 1, 2, 3. Let's do
Yeah.
let's do the best we can do. And yeah, because like I know a lot of people that they'll be like, man, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm like, dude, like when I love Metallica, like their first album, it's absolutely on a recording. So it's not good.
Yeah. Not at all.
He had laryngitis. His voice was all scratchy, but the riffs were there. The music was there. The talent will shine through. No one's going to deny that that's a fantastic record, but it wasn't perfect. He was sick. It sounded, and I'm like, they live with that. They put it out there and they became huge,
Over
like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, over
Yeah.
something like it, dude. I'm like, always just say, like,
Overthinking it.
yeah, exactly overthinking it. I'm like, dude, if you have a good song, the people will choose, not you. It's not your song anymore. Just put it out. It's not yours. If the
Let it go.
people
Yeah.
like it, if you just hung up blankets and you sang you sang your soul out, you told your truth. You didn't do anything because it'd make you more money, or using the buzzwords that ching 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 ching. It, people are gonna love it, and I like how it seems like now, like the music you're making, and what a lot of people are they're just being true, and just making really authentic music, and it's great that, man, there's still people out there that appreciate it, and and
Yes.
everybody I've talked to have been like real people too, and I think that
Yes.
makes like a huge difference as well. Is like when that's why I love doing the podcast, because you can be like, hey man, I love Dustin Perkins. I don't know anything about him, and you can watch you talk about your music, be like, oh, he's a cool dude, nice guy. He's in for the music. He took $100 and made a trip all the way out and came back off of his voice and guitar. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I really like, because there's so much music out there, but if you're just an average consumer of where you just turn that dial, you ain't gonna find the good stuff,
No.
and it's a
No.
shame that it's all the same. It's I don't get it. Like I didn't necessarily love all the 70s bands, but you could, if you didn't like them, you could skip them because you could hear a keyboard tone, even before the singer, or a guitar tone, and be like, oh, I like these guys, because
Yeah.
they had
Yeah.
they had their sound.
Yes.
It was so, and then like that's why I kind of like got away from. I love like the new metal when it came out, and then it all kind of started sounding the same. I was like, man, I mean, that was the allure for me with like when Nirvana came out and just blew everything out of
Yeah.
the water, of bringing
Everything out of the water, and it was so different than everything at its time.
yeah,
And like you said, just real and raw. That's what sold that.
yeah.
Real and
Like
raw.
imagine if you wrote a song like Pretty Polly. Like it's actually a really dark song of what he wrote it about. But like if you were to like hand that to some music producer or music guy right now, he'd probably be like, probably throw it away. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
in bloom. You're like, oh no, yeah, man. What's this guy saying? You know? Well, if you listen long enough, you'll you'll start to learn how to talk Cobain.
Yeah.
You know, with everything. Like when people, the stuff I used to listen to, they're like, what is he saying? And they'd be like, how do you know he's saying that? I'm like, because I've listened to it forever. It's a, you know,
And
it,
you tuned into it. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, if you have a friend that has an accent from England or Jamaica, you're not going to understand them probably every word when you first meet him. I said, but when you've been friends for a couple of years, you're going to know everything he says.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I just, I, I, I love like what you guys are doing. It's just
Thank you, man.
nobody's, and it's also like the independent thing, and it's fun. It's fun to have a ballad, and then you have like the blues slide guitar, and then you have like the harmonies and the
Keeps it different, man. I hate a whole bunch of songs that sound the same three chords. We're always trying to make it a really moving set list, if you will, just back and forth between a heartfelt something and then a goofy love song or something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Uh, Music's supposed to be fun, and that keeping it different to me is fun.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Have you ever had a moment where a fan came up and said, man, I really love that song. You guys do a great job. And you go, yeah, that was Tonic. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
because now, like, is it having like a cover on an album, like something you like to do? Or is just,
We had a cover on this last album. It was a Chris Knight cover. "To Get Back Home" is a Chris Knight tune, and he was just such a big influence to me as a writer in Texas growing up. Listening to his music gave me hope that I could be a songwriter because he wrote about stuff that I knew about. You know what I mean? Uh, and so I don't do a lot of cover tunes at my shows, period.
yeah,
If I do one, it's probably going to be a Chris Knight tune. And so that's kind of that one on the album is kind of my tip of my hat to him and the influence that he's been to me as a writer. But other than that, uh, I had that fuel song that you were talking about, or tonic, uh, on the first album, and it kind of was the same way. I didn't do a lot of covers tunes back then, but that was one that everybody gravitated toward. So I ended up putting it on an album.
yeah, it is cool.
Thank you, man.
It also gives, you know, it may say country on the genre of where you're listening to it, but then you get to hear like, but this guy listened to a lot of stuff I did growing up in the early
Yeah,
2000s. You know?
yeah, yeah, exactly. MTV.
Yeah, yeah. It's oh my god. I am terrible with song titles, but I want my MC. How they that intro like ruined that
Yeah, Dire
song.
Straits.
Yeah, Die Strike.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yes.
and
That's a. I love that intro. Yes.
yeah, but man, if heard it 10 million times. They
Yes.
yeah, that and MTV News with the peace sells. Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and
man, that was I was very influenced by MTV as a young man, but then once I picked up a guitar, I really got into the Texas songwriters. I started playing at T-Bone's Bar and Grill here in Denison when I was 15 at their open mic, and before I was out of high school, 16 years old, he was booking me for Friday nights and giving me the door. And so I was making money before I graduated high school with that guitar. And he had a lot of the Texas songwriters coming through there at that time. And so I got to be around Chris Knight and I mean all of them, Ray Wally Hubbard and 2 Tons of Steel, and just all the guys running the Texas circuit was coming through this bar. And so I got to open for a lot of those guys and really was very influenced by a lot of those Texas songwriters. And so that led me down the Chris Knight deal. And it always made me want to write my own music and stay pretty true to that. I've lost a lot of gigs over not wanting to learn tunes for somebody. You know, I need you to learn this tune if you're going to come play. And I'm like, I'm going to play my show. And if that ain't good enough, y'all just get somebody else, you know.
Yeah.
But I've always prided myself on doing my own songs. I work really hard at writing them. And if I get an opportunity to play, I feel like I need to be playing them. But I do a cover tune or two a night to grab people's attention that aren't listening, and then maybe they'll hear one of mine after that before they go back to talking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like having one in your hand, I think, like just for that reason.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, it's weird. I swear a lot of people can't gauge new music unless they hear somebody do one of their like favorite songs where I guess maybe it puts them a part of the show for a second, and then they'll be like, oh, I love that. And then it's like the next song, you're like, well, what's this? And they're like, well, this is mine. Now I got you.
Yeah.
But like you said, like if you're an original band, and man, that's like when people are shouting and they give one person what they want, and then it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you started it.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't do that.
Here it goes. Now everyone wants to be special, but I do think a good cover does convert those people. And like you said, and if it doesn't, then you're never going to get us. It's just
No, yes. And a lot of the other covers that I'll do will be like a guy beat me in this songwriting competition down here in Dallas 13 years ago. His name was Michael Prysock, but he has a song called Rocks at the Train. It's amazing. And when he got up and played it in front of me, I was behind him in the contest. My dad looks over at me and he's like, well, you lost. I was like, yeah, I did, because I don't have a song like that. So I do that song as a cover and tell that story. And then I do some of my buddies' songs, guys that I do song swaps with and stuff, and try to help spread some love for them out there and get some people following them, because they've got some really good tunes. And I like doing that. And then somebody go, whose song is that? And like, oh, that's my buddy Connor and them up in Atoka. You need to check them out, you know. And turning some of my fans onto their music is a cool deal for me too.
Do you have a favorite new guy right now?
Man, wow, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
There's a guy up here that I'm a huge fan of. His name's Tanner Legg. He's got a band called Tanner Legg and the Heaters. They're awesome. He's a great writer, better than he wants to give himself credit for. But they're rocking and they're awesome. They're worth going to see.
Nice. I'll have to check them out.
Yes.
Now
And Zach Wilkerson too. If you don't know
yeah.
him, man, he's amazing. I'd throw him out there as well in that.
Yeah. Dude, if I was on tour with him, he'd probably never want me to be on tour because he could design, build amps, guitars.
Yeah.
I would have been like, hey, Zach, you know.
Hey, try this. Yeah.
Oh, you broke it? You better fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was talking to one guy. He goes, yeah, I got this guitar. It's made by it's made of a piece of a barn. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. He goes, yeah, Zach Wilkerson built it and sold it to me. I bet he regrets that. I'm like, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I had him on the podcast. All we do, like, we of course we talked about his out Mud and Sunshine, and maybe just talk to Gear. I was like, I could talk to you and for days.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, he's a gear nut.
yeah. And yeah, down to the nuts and bolts, but just blows my mind because I'm like, I'm the world's worst solderer. I don't understand.
I don't get into all that. I work with wood.
Yeah. Yeah. I know to change the strings, and that's probably where I should stop. I've done some other
I'm with
things.
you on that one.
Yeah. And it's funny, like I swear, you know, I get hustled when people are like, hey, can you tune my guitar? I really like how you do it. I'm like, or string my guitar, because I it's like one of the least favorite things. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It don't take long. It's always stab myself. I'm always bleeding, and then I'm always it hurts, and you drop the string on the floor, and it takes 30 minutes to pick up the top E.
Oh yeah.
It's
one of those monotonous tasks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things I've ever seen was this guy. He was playing, and he broke a string, and he handed, I guess it was his girlfriend. He handed the guitar to his girlfriend. She walked over to the bar, put it on the bar, changed the string, tuned it, and gave it back to him. All before
Oh man.
I was like, dude, I was like, that I don't.
That's bar trick there.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys are gonna have to play a lot better, because that was the coolest thing that happened. Because yeah, I was like, how? But then again, like, if
That's awesome.
to have like a guitar tech would be,
Oh man, amazing.
yeah, you just open up your stuff. It's all labeled. It's all tuned.
Yeah, I'm not there at all.
Yeah. I guess that's why so many of these guys can, you know, like Willie Nelson, just tour forever. You know, all that little stuff that would drive me insane. He doesn't have to worry about, you know.
Oh, go smoke another doobie and take it easy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Oh, always in tune. Always brand new strings. I have a driver. I have, you know, my rider is for everything I need every day. I could see that being a little stress free, and you still get to travel, and yeah.
Oh yeah, it'd be. I get that sounds like retirement to me.
Yeah.
Crawl out of the bus, go do sound check, go get something to eat, go play a show, go fishing the next morning, get back on the bus, go to the next town. I could do that.
Yeah.
That's retirement.
Oh yeah, that's that. Now, because I always like call him crazy for doing it that long. Now that you put it like that, like what?
Doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, you're just moving the senior the senior assistance living is just moving with you. You know, because you have the same kind of dates. Like, oh, we'll get that for you, and just, you know, I just got to know what time it is and just be on time, sing my songs, and
Yep.
on to the next.
I could do that.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? Have a whole team.
Man. It would.
And they're all wearing Dustin Perkins with staff on the back.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I mean,
No, it'd be a dream. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh.
It'd be a big family if they were around us, man. It's that's one thing. I love everybody that's part of this team, man. I look at it like a family. We spend a lot of time together, and we get on each other's nerves a lot, and but we love each other, and that makes it all worth it. You know, when you're out there on the road, it keeps it from being miserable. We can poke at each other when we know the other one's getting aggravated or whatever, and so be like, hey, you know, get over yourself. Let's go.
Yeah. That 100%. That's just what makes it right there.
Making it a family deal, man. And this band's my family, and everybody involved in it is. I look at it that way.
Yeah. When everybody, you know, feels like it's not a job, that's what you want. That's,
yes.
you know, you don't have to stop pull the machine over and look for the missing part or the part that's going
Yeah.
wrong. You know, it's just when you get to that sense of being family and like you can come feeling comfortable, you can bring problems to it and attention before they just spew over. When,
Yes.
you know, because hey, 'cause you can be out on the road, you can have an issue, and if there's an issue at home,
Oh yeah, it's even worse, way worse.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
just you feel scared to say, hey man, next stop, I gotta take take a plane ride or take something to go fix some stuff at home. But
Yeah.
if you're worried that you're gonna lose your spot, and man, it's that's stuff like that can really poison an organization where it feels like like a militant regime, and it's nice to know that, yeah, because like you said, music should be fun. We all have a job to do, but if we're doing the job, we're putting out great shows, we're getting there on time, we're professional, man. let, let's do it. Let's go. Let's have fun. And
Yeah, and having somebody there to hold you accountable is a good thing for me. I know personally. Chris, that owns Split Window here, he and I talk almost daily in the morning, and we kind of tell each other what we got going on. And I'm not saying that we necessarily hold each other accountable, but we're checking on each other. Like, how'd your day go? Did you get all that stuff done you were talking about you had to do? You know what I mean? And having guys that we communicate every day like that. Fuzzy's the same way. My bass player, I'm on the phone with him every day, and we're talking about what's next, or what I need to be shooting a video for, or what we need to be gathering money for, or whatever's next. Um, but having those guys to work with you at something and also hold you accountable to your side of it really helps the whole machine and the whole family operate correctly. You know, it's been a really good thing this time around for me.
yeah, lot, yeah, lot. I mean, like you said, you shoot for value over just. It's cool to tell everybody. I mean, we did 50 shows, but 50 shows out of like all of them, maybe 10 were
Decent.
worthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just more proficient, and it saves your mental health, and it's just
Yes.
a better way of doing things, especially once because you've been doing it since what, like '09, and
Yeah, I graduated in '05, and I was getting paid to play '04. So,
yeah, yeah, you've cut your teeth,
yeah, yeah, man.
numerous times over.
Many a nights, many
Yeah.
nights.
Now, is there any festivals you're doing?
Yes, we're just now putting together our annual River Jam that I'm actually doing. It is in Moyers, Oklahoma, at Cave River Campground, October 31st, November 1st, and November 2nd. There's a tent camping there. There's RV sites. There's cabins and like treehouse cabins that people can rent. We got 3 days of music. Friday and Saturday we'll have 2 to 3 full bands each night. And then I think I've got 12 or 15 solo artists, songwriters signed up to be sprinkled in all that as well. And then we'll do some gospel tunes down on the river on Sunday morning. And everybody will be a part of that as well. But you can go to kriver.com to get your tickets. Maybe not right now, but pretty quick in the next week or so. But it's a bunch of local North Texas, Southeast Oklahoma artists. We also are dragging Jeff Canada up here from South Texas. The country diss track deal you did the other day was great.
Yeah, yeah, man, he
I
ruffled
love
some
Jeff.
feather. Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yes.
He was asking, like we were talking. He's like, what's the easiest way to go like viral? like, what's going to get the most views? And I was like, dude, I was like, I'll ask you who the king of country is. He goes, oh, that's going to be great. And I was like, I don't know if you saw that. I was like, Jeff Canada, who's the king of country? He just came out. He said, I'll tell you who's not, George Strait. And he just went on, and I was like, yeah. And then like I put it out there. I'm like, dude, are you sure you're okay? Like, because the comments were getting a little,
Oh
weird.
yeah.
And he's like, dude, bring them on. And I dropped it like twice, and it each got over like 500,000, and I think the one is close to 1 million. It definitely got
That's
over 1 million
awesome.
views collected. And then he was like, let me tell you what, this guy's talented. Show slept through it. He's hilarious. Like what you see, what you get with that guy. And
Oh yes, very much so.
I love it. He's definitely all over the place, but yeah, he's definitely a good guy to have, because he's there to give you a good time, but he himself, like, really feel like if you get too many backs turned to you, I really feel like he'd be like, okay, I guess we're not vibing right now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, man, I appreciate his realness, and just, this is the way it freaking is, you know. It's Jeff Canada.
yeah,
Like it or not.
yeah, dude. It's funny is like I don't really write with people. I have like little ideas, and one buddy, he'll call me every once in a while. His first co-write went platinum. So
Wow.
that's like what he does now. And
Wow.
he'll call me up and be like,
That'd be nice.
yeah. And I was like, man, like they were doing it like I had an opportunity to be in like a music video, and I was like, man, I can't go to Nashville for it, blah blah blah. And then they sat on that couch, they wrote that song, put it out, and it went viral, and it got a lot of play. And man, because I asked him, I said, he quit his job. I said, what do you do now? He goes, I spend money. I said, like he bought it. He's got a drum kit just for my house, it seems. And he's just like, dude, like every quarter, it just the checks is coming in. I'm like, dude, you know, good for you. But I was like, man, like, could you imagine, like, just mailbox money?
Yeah, I don't got none of that.
Yeah. I mine will be 24 for the year of stuff I've been on. But I wanted to text Jeff the other night about a song idea I had, because the one I texted him, and he was like, give me an idea for a song. I think I told him, I said, healed enough to hurt you. And he's like, I love that idea. And I'm like, yeah, you just run with it, you know, like just ideas like that. And then like,
Yes,
it's just like I was watching a movie, and the lady was describing like her late husband, and I was like, man, imagine describing not what they said or how they sung or any, like the sounds they made, like non-vocal sounds, like the way someone walks, something that you would never even think of.
yes.
Or, you know, like, or like,
Until they're gone.
yeah,
And then you miss that smell, or that
stuff
noise
like
of them opening the back door.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was actually going to text him, and because it really, man, he lost his dog, and he made that
Oh,
video.
dude, that's broke my heart watching that.
And what
I
started
hate
was,
that, man.
I could hear, I felt so I could hear my dog run, and I could hear his collar, you know, his little tag. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, what he probably would give just to hear that, you know?
Oh, no kidding, man.
And I was like, I can't text him that. It's way too
No.
soon, but I have to text him just.
Man, we've all lost a good dog, and there ain't nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
That's worse than losing a friend.
Yeah.
It is. It's tough.
Yeah.
Especially one you're that close to.
Yeah. Nobody, like, could you imagine if like a human being, like when you walk through the door, was like, every time.
Yeah.
Even if it's 10 minutes. I love you too.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so good to see you. Sit down. Come on. How was your day? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. You got any of them treats in your pocket?
Yeah. Or like you walk in and you forget you were still in the fight. You're like, oh, the scornful face.
Yeah.
What did I do? You're not getting that from a dog, you know. You
No.
forgot to take out the trash. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Are you gonna love me again, or I'll just walk out this room and come back in? We're back.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, they definitely.
Oh man, I've had some good dogs over the years.
Yeah,
Hard to beat a good dog.
yeah. It's funny. I've only had like like house dogs, and I went down the rabbit hole of watching dogs do what they're bred to do, especially on like farm dogs.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Amazing. Like when they jump on the back because they don't want to get trampled in the chute, and
Yeah.
and they're rounding up, and they like especially even like when shepherds are involved, and they all the commands they know, and it's amazing. Like, and then you see the rat terriers, and you're like, oh, these things are savages. They're just
Oh yeah.
like,
I grew up hog hunting with dogs with a guy from Savoy, Texas. He had a business called AffordableHogHunts.com, and people paid from all over the United States. I'm trying to remember, it would have been late 90s, early 2000s. So the internet was AOL Messenger and stuff, you know what I mean? But they had AffordableHogHunts.com and sold all these hunts online, and he would take us high school boys as meat toters, basically. We'd kill a hog 5 miles from the pickup. Well, these places up here are all fenced off every 80 acres. So we got to cross a bunch of fences, so you couldn't ride a four-wheeler or truck or anything to them. So he took us high school boys, and he'd cut them pigs up into quarters, hang them off our shoulders, and we'd tote the meat back to the truck. So, but I grew up hunting behind his dogs, and it was amazing to watch. Those dogs were bred to hunt those hogs and fight with them, and their noses amazed me what they could smell and how they could find a pig in the middle of nowhere just like that, and then give us an opportunity to harvest them and take meat home almost every time. But that got me started on wanting dogs and dogs for what they're supposed to do, and had a squirrel dog after that. And man, I love working dogs. Is awesome,
yeah,
awesome, awesome. Yeah,
yeah. I didn't realize that it gives you a whole nother appreciation of like what they can do, what they're capable of if you let them do they want to do it. Let them do their work.
yes,
And it's also on the other end when somebody gets that dog and puts it in a little apartment and they can't figure out why it's
yeah,
eating the couch. It's tearing things up. It wants something to do. You know, yeah, it's got pretty blue eyes, but this thing has been bred for a reason, and it's instinctual. You know,
yes.
if I can't
That,
round up livestock, I'm a
those
round up
dogs
something.
that we hog hunted behind loved it. They lived for it, man. When you turned them out of the truck, they were looking for a hog and a fight. That's what they wanted. They was a group of brothers, and they was going in there to beat up on some hogs. You know, it was a lot of fun as a kid, getting to watch it and be a part of it. And I learned a lot about hunting, and tracking, and how to handle a carcass once you do kill something, so you don't spoil the meat and whatnot. And, a lot of valuable information I learned from that old man walking behind them dogs many miles in the woods,
Yeah,
many miles.
yeah, that had definitely had to be cool. See,
Yeah, it's unbelievable, really.
yeah, because I've had friends go on like hunts like that, and they love it. It's
Oh yeah, there's something primal about being in the middle of that fight. There's a bunch of dogs and wild hogs on the ground, and it's a dangerous situation. It really is.
yeah, yeah. It's like when, I swear, what was it? Pumbaa off the Lion King, like
Yeah.
that. That made people think that like they're friendly.
No.
They were not
No.
friendly at all. I'd see them like when the people at the all inclusive resorts and they're out and they're like, "Oh, Pumbaa, come here," and
Yeah.
like, and they're like,
Yeah.
they're up on the table like, "Help!"
No.
Just-
No. It got a love for dogs put in me at a young age. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just recently, just really just started going down. Yeah, I can't really think of. I mean, my buddies had farm, like not farms, just like had horses and stuff, and the dogs would mess with the horses, but not anything like
Yeah.
that. Where they're
Rounding up a herd and putting them up for the night. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right. Or just
Yeah.
staying at, or how the hierarchy of how a pack is.
Yeah.
I find that fascinating too, especially the ones that like protect the chickens, the goats, and all of them from the coyotes and stuff. And that's how there's a system of, and it's stuff that like you get medals and you promote and you have to. Now they sort that all on their own. There's no ambition once the hierarchy has been set. There might be a couple shots but that's like when they're getting older.
Yeah.
But yeah, when once that's settled, it's weird how like there's no, some human they would try to like devise a way to get that guy out or whatnot. Now they're a very solid unit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to watch. But yeah, dude, we've been talking for like an hour and 20 minutes. Is there anything?
Oh shit. Google.
Is there anything I missed, or you wanted to talk to?
Man, you can find everything about us at thedustinperkins.com. Other than that, you can check out our show schedule there and all our new music, links to all our social media. So thedustinperkins.com. Other than that, man, thanks for having me. I'm grateful, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, and I hope people go and listen to your music. It's good, and like
Thank
you
you,
said,
man.
you're gonna find something you like. There's a lot,
Yeah.
and it's the same. It's the same as like when I tell people like you're in a car and you want to make everybody happy. I'll always tell people Adam Hood, but your music has that same appeal of where if there's people that like different genres, different styles, I really think you're in that class.
Thank you, man. That's a huge compliment. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because it's funny, like just hearing you talk, you can definitely the sound. I love that gravel in your voice. And
Yeah, 22 years of uh, drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes and being in a bunch of smoky bar rooms. It'll do that to a man, I guess.
yeah.
I ain't been very good to my voice.
Yeah.
Screamed on it too many nights trying to get over them monitors.
Oh, yeah. Are you doing in-ears now?
We're
know
in
that.
here now, man. It's a different world. I love it.
Yeah, that everybody say like I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't hear myself sing. I can't. I'm like, dude, once you realize you don't have to over stress your voice,
You don't.
it's in your head. And you're like, well, I can't feel the energy of the crowd. I'm like, dude, pop one out a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm one in, one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your kids are going to appreciate it when they go, "Hey, Dad." You go, "What?" Not or you turn around because if you're not wearing in-ears and you're doing it, they're gonna go, "Hey, Dad, Dad, Dad," and you're just never turn around.
No. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, and like it saved your voice, but yeah, I'm super glad you came on, and like I said, I hope people like really if they don't know who you are, they just
I
type your
really
name in
appreciate that.
and hit play.
More than you know, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's because Talbot recently put it was something like a band. It was probably a Jeff Canada post. A band everybody should know that unfortunately people don't know. I think Talbot put your name, Dustin Perkins, and I was like, wait, is this a new find? Like, we should have put me up way sooner onto this, because that is definitely like the alley that like I love.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. A lot of those guitar parts you're listening to is a guy named Colton Gilbreth, and he's played with me for years. But he's an awesome cat and a super talented guitar player. We've got a guy named Jake Cox playing with us now. He's equally as talented and just a cool dude too as well, man. I'm anxious to get him on some recordings as well, and his flair. They're definitely different, but they both add so much to my songs, and I really appreciate somebody's ability to do that, to take a guitar part, and make something so much better with it. You know what I mean? It can change a song immediately.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of people will blur out in their ears all the other instruments, then the voice or guitar people love.
Yeah.
When they hear those intricate parts and just nailing those runs and everything. And
I appreciate it again, man. More than you know. Those compliments mean a lot to me, especially coming from somebody like you that listens to so much music. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's great. I dig it. Love it.
Heck yeah, man. I'm anxious for you to hear the new stuff coming out. I'll have to shoot it over to you. We get off here. I'll get your number from Talbot or something, and shoot you over the new single.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah, thank you.
I'm excited about it. It's a new chapter, if you will.
Yeah. And yeah, hopefully the biggest chapter.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully so.
Get you the bus and the tractor trailers and
Yes. I'm looking forward to that. Like you're saying, everything's labeled, and you just lay on the bus and do what you need to do until your 5 o'clock sound check.
Yeah. Wow. Wouldn't that be great?
Man, I feel blessed to get to do this for a living, man. Thank you, Lord, for all your mercy, because I don't deserve a bit of it. And I live a pretty blessed life getting to play music and make money doing it. That's hard to beat to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's if you love music, man, that's such a great way to be.
Yes, it's as long as it keeps paying for itself. I tell everybody it's the only bad habit I got that pays for itself. So my music.
I like that. I love that. I've never heard it put that way. That's the great way to put that.
Yeah.
But
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, thank you for hopping on.
Thank you, Patrick, man. I appreciate you.
But yeah, I'll try to get this out on like Wednesday.
Cool. That'd be great. Yeah. I'll post it and shoot it all over our stuff too, man. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. So yeah, hopefully I'll have it done on Wednesday.
Cool. Holler if there's anything I can do. And if you can get down here October 31st, November 1st, for that River Jam we're putting on, I'd make sure you had a spot. Just holler at me.
All right. Yeah, I definitely will.
It'd be a good time, man. Bunch of good vibes and bunch of good people hanging out.
Yeah.
And I'll see you at Talbot's deal.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Nice.
Down in Fort Worth. We're gonna go down there to that. So
nice. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hell yeah.
I'm a fan of your stuff too, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I love your content, man. I'm always watching it.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate what you do for the business. It's such a breath of fresh air. It's just real. You know what I mean? I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. A lot more people they need to hear it and know
Yes.
that the stuff they felt they'll never hear again. It still is prevalent. It's just under undercover under because I think the people that are making the money right now with the stuff that's as it's plastic and not real, they're scared. They should be.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
like I I would hope that somebody would be like, hey, we'll pay you to stop, and I'm nah.
Yeah.
Because I've had offers and they'd be like, hey, would you mind doing this? And I'd say, well, you have your own platform. You mind doing this
Yeah.
artist?
Help
You
me
know,
out.
and they're like, well, we don't know who that is. Who that is? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I told you if you showcase this artist, I will showcase one of yours.
There you go.
And they're just like, we don't really do that. I'm like, well, that's exactly what I'm going to tell you.
That's not a world I want to live in.
Yeah, I'm like,
I live in a bartering world, man.
yeah,
I really do. I believe in trading each other's time and energy. It's worth more than money to me. If
yeah,
somebody
and
sit down and take time to actually listen to you, man, that's worth way more than money.
yeah, and
Uh, Thing of the
bartering,
past.
yeah, bartering keeps the tax man out too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Amen.
yeah,
Amen.
yeah. Oh, I always report that. Okay, sorry guys.
Everything's a write off.
Yeah, yeah,
Everything. I was on
yeah,
the road that day, guarantee you.
yep. That's funny. Oh man,
Good stuff.
yeah, but yeah, man, yeah, it was good talking to you, and I'm excited for October down in the stockyards.
Yeah, it'll be a good time, man.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of people there. Tabo was saying so.
Yeah, Bill played bass on this new song that we're fixing to release. You know Bill Corbin?
Oh
You had
yeah,
him on there, didn't you?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's awesome. I love Bill, man.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
such a cool dude.
yeah. He's great. I've got to meet and hang out with him a bunch of times. He's definitely
Yes.
great people, and he gets me because he's from the East Coast.
Yeah. That dude can play a bass, man. He's
Uh,
incredible.
yeah,
Unbelievably talented.
yeah, and it's super nice.
Yes. Down to earth. Yes, very much so.
Yeah, not a lot of big guys are.
No, man. I've been really fortunate this last couple of weeks. Stoney LaRue, I got to open for him, and he made a big post about me. And right before that, I opened for Adam Hood, and he did the same. And then Zach Wilkerson drugged me on that listening room tour and kind of stood up for me and said, "Hey, I'm bringing an opener, whether you like it or not," and put me in front of his crowd. I'm just really grateful for those people sharing their platform. And I try to do the same to younger guys than me that are coming up. I host a songwriter nights or several of them, and I try to create gigs for those people coming up and share any advice of what roads not to go down anyway. I know all them.
Yeah, and that's the, you can't buy that.
No, you can't. You got
It's
to
a,
earn it.
yeah, and it's invaluable when someone's just like sits you down and says, "Listen, here, I'm going to help you streamline this path."
Man, so much.
Yeah, because
I'm in a debt of gratitude to all those guys, man. I'm grateful for them.
it's a spider web, and you're trying to get into the middle of it, and it's some
That's a
strands
good way to describe it.
there's some
It is.
strands they fall,
Yeah.
or they go to the wall.
I'm getting pretty tough. I fell a bunch.
Yeah, music.
Music.
Yeah,
Can't beat it. Can't live without it or with it or without it.
yeah,
Either way.
yeah. It's such it's an interesting world to be in.
It's universal.
Yeah,
I know that.
yeah,
I've met so many people that I probably couldn't hold a very good conversation with them, but they dug my music, and so we communicated there. The universal language.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And at least when they heard it, you know, in
Yes.
case you get starstruck, you know, if you can't formulate a sentence, you'd be like, they're just nervous because, you know, he's obviously just had that great song.
Yeah. That's what I tell myself anyway. Anyway.
I mean,
Good
that's how
stuff.
I get. I always stutter and like my brain knows what I want to say, but it's just like,
Oh man.
yeah.
Yep. As my little boy said that day in the boat, he said, "Dad, this is a fluster cluck. This is a fluster cluck." You're right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be using that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people will know what you mean, and hey,
Oh yeah.
still clean. I still kept it PG-13.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Once again, I'll see you in October.
Yeah. Absolutely. I look forward to the next one. It's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, man. Interesting to hear the new song, and like, yeah, like if there's anything I could ever do for you, just hit me up.
Same here, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you as well. So hell yeah,
It works, man.
yeah. So all right, I'll end it right here. So there's this. All right, cool.